Meister Eckhart has some wonderful advice. Be willing to be a beginner every single morning. I love that advice so much that it inspired me to do the Booktube Newbie Tag this week. Hi, I'm Kat. Welcome back to Kat's Novel Adventures. So today I plan on answering some questions so that you get to know me a little bit better, why I started the channel, what kind of books I read. Before we get started, I just want to share with you that I am drinking a cup of pecan praline coffee out of my little fall gnomey mug. I love gnomes. And I am wearing fabulous earrings. I love reading. These beautiful earrings, you can't really see this one, were gifted to me by my good friend Melanie last Christmas, and she happens to love reading as well. So let's go ahead and get started. The first question is, why did you start this channel? Well, basically a couple of years ago, my good friend Kelsi over at Slime and Slashers, she and I collaborated on some videos just talking about horror movies, what we're doing for our fall and Christmas seasons, and it just kind of blossomed to where we, collaborated more and more. And in fact, this year we are doing the Year of King, where we get together and we discuss a King book or story, and then we watch the movie and compare the two. So it's been a lot of fun, and through that experience, I have actually met a lot of booktubers that, subscribe to her channel, and then I've discovered some other booktubers on my own, and I just really enjoy listening to other people talking about books and how much they love books and what they're reading each month and the readathons that they're hosting, that I thought it would be kind of fun to do that myself on my own channel. So I decided to launch my channel this year so that I could participate. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? Well, I think this is kind of a funny question. Probably because I'm sure everybody says the same thing. I'm unique and reading's fun and books are fun. I basically think because my channel is in its infancy, it's a little too early to tell what unique or fun things I can bring to BookTube. I really do think it will evolve, as time goes on. But honestly, I read a lot of different genres. I enjoy reading. I enjoy other things besides reading, and I think that I could incorporate those kind of interests also in my channel because, like, I'm an actor. And I enjoy reading books about acting. So, that kind of pairs together. I love to scrapbooks, and I like to read books about scrapbooking. So I just think, whatever it is that I'm interested in will eventually somehow make it onto my channel as part of, what I'm doing with my books. What are you most excited for about this new channel? Well, I think I'm the most excited about being part of the BookTube community. I just think BookTube has some of the most wonderful people on the planet who are passionate about books and reading and short stories, and everyone on BookTube, in my opinion, has been super supportive. I've gotten some, great feedback from other booktubers, and it's just a wonderful place for you to be able to express your ideas about what you're reading, what you like about what you're reading, and even to do projects surrounding what you are reading. So that is what I am the most excited about, and also being able to meet more booktubers in the future. Why do you love reading? Whew. Well, I just think it's awesome. It is a way for you to find solace when you're sad. It provides entertainment. You can learn so much from reading. And not just, from nonfiction books. You can also learn a lot from fiction books. I just think if you meet the right characters, you can escape, you can travel, you can go on all kinds of fabulous adventures, from the comfort of your own home. So I love it. It's a wonderful activity that you can do anywhere. You can read at your house, you can read on the airplane when you're traveling, you can read while you're waiting in a doctor or dentist office, you can read in a park. I mean, it's portable magic. It's there for you anytime you want it. And I mean, it's even gotten more portable because people are able to read on their phones. I prefer to read, from a physical book, but it's just a very easy way to enjoy yourself, What book or series got you into reading? Well, I don't really remember a specific book or a series getting me started into reading. I would probably have to say one of the books that I had as a child that I really loved is this little book, Anatole over Paris. This was given to me by my grandmother, and obviously I was a young annotator because I decided to underline and highlight in my book. I don't know why. I'll have to be on the lookout for a nicer edition from this. I'll always keep this one because my grandmother gave it to me when I was younger. But as far as once I got into middle school, I would say Nancy Drew was a big draw. I loved the Nancy Drew mysteries, so much so I always wanted my own collection of Nancy Drew books. And eventually I will get that series. I think I have 5 of them that I've collected so far. But I still love them today. And then another book that I absolutely adored is by Ellen Raskin. You might know her from The Westing Game, but I love this book. I checked this book out from my library at St. Matthew's, the Apostle School. Probably starting from 3rd grade all the way to 8th grade. Every year I would check this book out. I just absolutely adored it. It's just kooky and quirky and funny, and I loved it. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? Well, I know I would, love to ask them, I would love to say I would ask them that about their process and how they go about, organizing their reading. But honestly, I would ask them more tech questions, like what are you editing on? What are you shooting your videos with? Any tricks or tips you can give me on creating videos? That I would want the tech aspect of it. And also, probably another question is, what is your method for reading the amount of books that you read? Because I just tend to read physical books, and I'm not the fastest reader. I'm not the slowest reader, but I'm not the fastest reader. And so I average probably, 5 to 6 books a month. It depends on the size of the book. If I'm reading a Stephen King novel that's like 680 something pages, well, then it might be a 6-book month. If I'm reading something a little bit less than that, maybe I could eke by with a little more. But I don't know. Those would be the questions I would ask. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Again, it's going to be tech related. Thank God for YouTube, and also for Kelsi, because basically between the two, that is how I've kind of learned how to, edit my videos. It's just like trying to get you know, used to lighting and, you know, where are you going to shoot in your home that has the best light? I just think all of that is very intimidating to me. And I do come from a television background, but that was so long ago that when we shot video, it was like on beta. And I remember editing in a, you know, doing rough edits before I took it into, you know, a technical director. And we used beta tapes. So that just tells you how long ago that was. So I think that is my biggest challenge. Will I be able to overcome it? Yes, because I am a problem solver and I like to be able to figure things out. When did you start reading? Okay, I wish I knew exactly when I started reading. I want to say I started young, and I do think my grandmother, who I called Nana, she was the one that influenced me to read. I mean, she's the one I think that, you know, read to me and started off my reading journey. I remember going into kindergarten and being able to read these little letter books that we had. And I just always feel like I've known how to read. I just don't know when the aha moment was when I was able to do that. So I'm glad I learned to read, and I'm glad I started early. Where do you read? Well, I have a variety of places I like to read. I read in my living room on my sofa. I also have a comfortable chair in my living room that I like to read in. And I will read in my bed. Sometimes I'll wake up in the morning, I take my dogs out, I make myself a cup of coffee, and then I climb back in bed for about 30 minutes, and then I try, you know, to get some reading done. Then I also climb into bed in the evening, obviously to go to sleep, and generally we'll get some reading done at that point. I also enjoy reading outside. I don't do it very often because, as Kelsi says, we live in hot-ass Louisiana, so it's extremely hot here and humid, so it's not always pleasant to read during the summer months. And right now it's extremely cold. It's not very pleasant, you know, to be out there reading in the cold. So I do like sometimes to go out and read on my porch, but it doesn't happen very often. Another place I love to read, but you know, it happens far and few between, is to be able to read on the beach. I love to read on the beach. Number 10 is, what kind of books do you like to read? Well, I tend to gravitate more towards horror, thrillers, mysteries. I love those. Those are at the top of my list. But I also enjoy reading personal development, memoirs, nonfiction, children's literature. I love middle grade, love picture books, enjoy YA. I pretty much, the only thing I don't really care to read is romance. And it's not to say that I haven't read romance, and it's not to say that I won't read a romance. It won't necessarily be a full-blown romance. However, it's not my favorite. And I will tend to read a romance or something that has romance in it if it happens to be for a readathon or for a challenge, but generally I stay away from it. So probably horror, mystery, thrillers are my absolute favorite. What does your book collection look like? Well, this is one of my bookcases behind me. You can't see the full bookcase, but this is where I keep all of my Stephen King books. I love Stephen King. He is my favorite. And I have a bookcase in my foyer area that houses my middle grade and picture books. I also have 2 bookcases that house a bunch of different types of books. Like it has some memoirs, it has some personal development, it also has some YA, and it has some of my other favorite authors on it. I have another bookcase that is basically my Mary Higgins Clark, my James Patterson, and Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child. And believe it or not, I do have a little small bookcase that has encyclopedias from 1989 that have piles and piles of books stacked on it. It's kind of hard for me to throw books away. Everyone keeps telling me throw them away. They're so old, you can Google things, but I just can't bear to do it myself because they're in such great condition and the information is still pretty good. And I hate to admit this, but I have tons of books in piles, in bags still, in boxes, because I really need more bookshelf space. I'm hoping one day that I will get the bookshelves built in my living room. I have a wonderful wall already picked out. I want them to go up all the way to the ceiling if possible, which I have high ceilings in my living room, and I want that little rolly ladder that goes across because I just think that would be fabulous. But yeah, my book collection is all over the place. Eventually, I would love to be able to give you a bookshelf tour in the future. So that is pretty much all I have to say to answer these questions concerning the Booktube Newbie Tag. I really am excited to be here. I have really enjoyed, you know, talking through chat or talking through the comments with people who have stopped by to watch the couple of videos that I've already done. And I'm just excited to see how my channel will evolve over the next few months. So in the meantime, thank you so much for stopping by. Stay amazing and be adventurous.